So I want to make a brief recording to show you how to make graphics that you can put inline for your Illustrator artwork to put into your posts when you're posting to your discussion board. And so I've got Illustrator open here, and this is a student from previous semester's artwork. What I'm going to do is go underneath the File menu, and I'm going to go down to Export. And then there's a couple options. There's export for screens, and I kind of like the save for web. The save for web is an older thing before we started to have retina screens and a lot of the stuff that requires us to have multiple resolutions for web images. So save for web is a little older, but it's also got more options, and it's a little easier for most students. So I'm going to go to save for web. And what'll happen is you'll see the image here. You can do a 2-up image or a 4-up. They actually have options so that you can see what the original looks like, and then you can see what your web or JPEG version looks like. So the original's here on the left. This is the AI, and we can zoom in on it if we want to see details too. It'll zoom in on both. And then I want to go over to the one that I want to save out, and I'm going to set it as a JPEG. And oftentimes medium, high, or even very high are the options that people will use. It depends on how it's being used, and you can start to see, hopefully it shows up in your view, that the original to the JPEG here, you start to get a little bit of the pixel sort of smearing. It looks almost like pixel blur on the edges. So medium is probably not good enough for this, even though it might be good for some images. I'm going to go up to high quality. And now I can see that these two images look pretty much the same. They look pretty good. I can adjust the size here. So if I want to save it out at 50%, which I'm going to do because I'm using it inline inside a post. 50% then, if I have 8.5 by 11, it's going to be about half that size. So, it doesn't matter because we can always scale it inside the post too. But I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm going to go and click Save. And what it's going to do is give me options where to save it to. For brevity's sake, I'm going to save it out to the desktop here. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to save it as sample. And if you want to put the .jpeg, you can. It should put it automatically after that in Illustrator. So now I have the sample out on the desktop. I'm going to go into our discussion board. I'm going to pause the video for just a minute, and then you can watch that process real quick. Okay, so I'm in the discussion board. I'm going to go about as I normally would. I'm going to create a thread here, and I'm just going to call this one example post inline graphic. And it's not going to be up there once I make this video anyway, but you get the idea. So I can go ahead and do my typing, and I'm just going to do some keyboard smashing here. And then I can put my graphic inline. Inline meaning with the body copy that I'm putting inside there. And you'll notice if your menu only has one line here, you need to click on this so that you have all the different lines of tools available to you. There's this little plus to add content to your post, so you want to click on that. And then if you scroll through the list, you'll see a bunch of options as far as adding from tools. What we want to do is we just want to insert a local file. So I'm going to click on Insert Local File. I'm going to go to the desktop. So I'm going to click on my iCloud and then desktop here. And that was called Sample JPEG. So I'm going to click Sample, and I'm going to go ahead and insert that into my post. And I already scaled it to 50%, so it's a decent size for putting inline the post. However, let's say you wanted to make it smaller. Maybe you didn't scale it down. You can just grab one of the corners here when you click on the image and scale that and position that. Go ahead and click Submit, and you will have a post that has the graphic right in line, so your viewers don't have to do a separate transaction to open them up as they start to look at them. Hope this helps you out. Please do this with your posts. I appreciate everybody doing that. Thanks much.